And I think most of their requirements are covered right there, and it's already in the draft.
We did vote on that at our fire meeting, and that's what everybody wanted, so that's why I'm bringing it to you guys. I'm just the voice here for St. Francis.
Okay.
These are the figures here. He put the grant request into the budget for $23,500, and you'll see the figures going right down here, which you can program there if it helps you understand better.
We would have to add 5 to that because we each have a forestry truck.
The forestry grant, if he applies for the forestry grant, he's gonna need 5 on his grant.
Pardon?
If he applies for this forestry grant that I applied for every
Yeah.
last year, he'll need this 5,000 matching.
But you have your grant, don't you? See,
But I only got, I didn't mine.
yeah,
You didn't get one this year or something.
see.
we did not.
So, we can't budget for something that hasn't been administratively accomplished. In other words, you've done yours, he hasn't even started yet.
I've done mine for this year. I budgeted for next year for the same
17.
grant, just in case. I mean, we may not get this grant,
Uh-huh.
but we need to budget it ahead of time, do we not?
Right.
Yeah, we
That's
got a
true.
budget
Yeah,
for
because
the
of
year.
Matching grants is we're anticipating getting them.
So, you want an additional
Yeah, he needs to-
23,500?
No, just 5,000.
It's 5,000 per forestry.
It's per department. It's 5,000 per each department.
Instead of 22.
And my 5,000's added into this 23,500. I, like
So
I told you
so we
guys, I
don't
never
need to-
talked to
We just
Lauren.
need to do it for
Right,
their
just for
budget.
Lauren.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, we just need to add another 5,000 to the budget, Rodney.
You understand? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
So down here under equipment, transfer to fire equipment, we need to up that to 30,000, is that the way, no, here, transfer to fire equipment?
you can do it there, I would think.
Or do we add it under grant? Which way should we go, do you
Because
think?
this is a grant matching if you can.
It's a matching.
I
right?
think, I mean, given the problems that we've had with grant administration, I think putting in grants makes way
Okay.
more sense. That's gonna create less confusion all around.
All right.
And then that way, if they don't get it, we know why there's extra money setting in the grant part of it.
Right.
Okay. So that goes to 28,500.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but convert the line item, you'd have to just put the 5 down here in the grant.
See here?
Right, that line's gonna change, but
And
you
then
need to
hoping
put
that you were
something
on your increase, the same would be true for his matching.
Right.
grants.
I mean, if you're gonna do it this year.
See right here.
So is that,
You had,
Yeah,
you
that
had
just needs to go to 28.
28,500, yes.
Right.
okay.
Right, right.
That'll make the bottom line.
Hey, Carol, you
Well,
deal
So
with
that
the
changes
5,000
it to 130,
Yes.
right?
I put
Yes,
5,000
130,
forestry,
500,
just
right?
one group. So if you're adding a second,
Yes.
then you would
Okay,
do forestry.
that's what I,
Well, I
I'll
figured
update
them
my
nuts, kid.
spreadsheet too.
you know, they change everything.
Carol, you do agree that
Just wanted to
from
verify.
an accounting bureaucracy kind of standpoint, putting that into grants makes more sense,
Absolutely.
correct?
And we-
Because it's easier
One
to
of
track,
these
and then that way, if we don't get a grant, we know exactly why there's more money
Exactly.
sitting there. And it's set aside, and we know it's sitting around in courthouse general.
Yeah,
or
and with
something.
the auditors, they encouraged us to do
Okay.
that, to add a line item for any time you have matching funds. It shows up as grants in that department's line item, is what
Okay.
they recommended.
So everything
And like, it's a
else
general thing
that's
that
on
the
this
general
line
fund
has
would
been
still
approved.
grant.
Well, I'd say we changed that, that's been approved also. Wouldn't you say?
If we have to stay with the pay increase, I just ran some numbers briefly, it's gonna increase.
Yeah.
Don't look at my scratch figures there. Look at this line here.
So what are your thoughts on the pay increase? We're gonna back it back out and leave it the way we had it, or, if we put that into effect,
Personnel
Okay.
services,
2 hours on a fire call,
It don't
Okay.
take long to
10
get 2 hours
guys,
in.
every run is 10 guys, you're gonna add up pretty quickly on a dry, busy year. It's gonna add up, we'll be spending.
well, we increased it $9,000 from last year.
Yeah, and I think we went over last year on payroll. And we didn't have a very big fire season last year.
I mean, we're just trying to project ahead. If we get into some
Yeah.
dry years, we
Well,
can.
with the tax lid, we need to,
I guess we're looking, if we keep the overtime, we're gonna have to up that number probably.
what do you think is logical?
Like I said, my department will just soon you guys reverse that decision. I don't know what his department says. Go back to what it was.
That's fine with me.
I think if we're going to invest money, we feel it's better in keeping our guys trained and
Well, I agree with
and
that.
equipment.
Safety,
Safety is way
the
more
main
important.
thing,
than-
yeah. That's huge.
They're all volunteers. They,
Right. And like I said, the community's good to us, and this is kind of our way of saying, giving back to them a
Put
little
another
bit.
4,000 in there.
You think that's good if we keep the old pay?
If we keep the old pay, I think we're.
Be pretty close.
Because right now,
What was payroll
Well,
last year?
how
Do
much
you
did
want
we
to
We've
keep
got
the old
20
pay in line with the
20K
tax
in
lid?
there.
Do you not want to increase that a little bit? Because once we get under the tax lid, if you get into a busy fire season, you won't have the money there if you cut it back. I mean, I can understand not giving the additional overpay for the hours that they've already adopted. But I would, because you were over on your budget last year when that decision was not made, I would probably leave that payroll the same in anticipation of a fire season that you might not be prepared for.
As
as far
leave
as
it at
payroll.
20,000.
Well, and keep in mind, I
Yeah.
mean, with the tax lid, there are going to be exceptions for certain emergency
That is true.
services. So I mean, if there were truly, I mean, if we started burning up as a county or something, hopefully it doesn't happen, and we needed resources, that
That is
the
true.
tax lid restrictions probably would not apply in that situation. Just
And I
wanted
think-
to throw that out
Yeah, I
there.
think what Lauren and I are both saying is this 20,000 is plenty if we keep the old pay. I think we can make this number work
Okay.
most of the time. But if we go with the new pay, it don't take long to rack up 2 hours or call, and then you're starting to pay $10 an hour. That's going to add up pretty quick. So we would have to up this if we keep basically the raises you guys just gave. If we don't back that back off, we got to go higher on that payroll, I think. You agree?
I agree, because just weather conditions and things like that, we have guys out there for 8-10 hours. We generally switch them out now to get away from having somebody sit there, because before we were at 4 hours, anything over 4 hours, we paid them by the hour. Well, we could work through that. My understanding, in 15, we spent $11,000 on personnel, which would be wages.
I think so.
And we raised it $9,000.
So we're at 20, so
Do you know how much we went over last year, Deb?
I'd have to go in and run a report to see how much you were over. That would have been on those reports that I gave you to when you prepared these statements.
I don't know if that was it this. Does it show me?
So you're thinking of going back down to the 15,000 instead of,
Went over by 5.
according to that, we were over by 5,700.
okay,
And a not busy season.
yeah,
we
that
went
report,
over.
yes.
It wasn't a busy fire season, but it was a busy jaws.
Yeah, we did a lot of wreck calls and stuff.
Can I see that for just a minute?
No. We're talking
Okay.
if we keep the old pay, leaving the 20. Leaving it just like it is.
11,
No,
Yeah,
at
20.
20.
20,000.
20,
Yeah.
okay.
So you were budgeted for 11, you went over 5.
So if we leave
You
it at
still have an increase there for next year at the 20.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
And then we leave,
Yeah.
forget the pay raise and leave it,
Yeah.
leave it the way we had it.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think we can, that will be workable.
Okay.
All right. So the in total is still
So
130,
the total still is, the other columns, you guys are in agreement. You're-
All right.
I think we can make most of the rest of it work.
Okay.
Except,
The only other thing, and I think Tony brought that up last meeting, was we have one older truck that we're having
Danny
issues
said,
with.
and the
Looking-
cost
if we have
is
to
about
look at-
50?
I don't know what to.
You know, we were looking at 45 or 50.
45 or
If we're
50.
looking ahead 3 years, yeah, that truck is probably going to have to be updated somewhat. We're having motor issues with it. It's a 1982.
Now, when this figure of 25,000
Did
for
you?
equipment,
Yep, C&K Dodge. when we get
was that for something you had specifically
Say that again, I'm sorry.
here, or was it a combined figure for his needs as
Can we
well?
pull,
And what's that?
out of
I'm sorry.
the general
For the
fund,
equipment.
Courthouse general, and just have them get it before it's too late?
See, right now,
I don't know.
you're
You'll
showing
have to ask Ronnie in the
25,000 for
code. I think we
equipment to
could.
be set aside. Is half of that gonna go for his needs and half for your needs?
The way we did it in the past, when they needed to update a truck a year ago or whatever,
Because we barely touched the
whatever
courthouse
monies were
general.
available, they did it.
Yeah.
When it's our, you know, when we have a need, and we talk and keep our equipment
Going
as
good.
good as we can.
Can
And
we-
We're appreciative for the
Can
equipment
we
we
take out
have.
of courthouse,
Pardon?
can we go ahead and have them get the truck this year and take it out of courthouse general? That way we
We
don't have to
have the
budget.
money in the account.
Oh, I didn't know if we could take it out of courthouse general. That way we wouldn't have to worry about budgeting for it, since we've got over 500,000 in that account. Can that be done, Nicole?
I don't know.
I don't
We have
know.
to talk to our,
Because if
so,
you,
I mean, or
if you get,
is what you're
Lauren, you
talking
guys have a
about-
truck that's not running very good, right?
Right. Yeah, we're having
We
motor
have
issues.
to
We
redo
do
it.
have like
Because,
Right,
five.
and
I guess that's
I
what I
would
want to
rather
clarify.
take
You're
care
talking
of
about
it now
transferring
than-
money over from courthouse general into their budget for
Into
this
the-
year.
For this year, to get them the new truck before something
We
catastrophic
need to
happens.
run that by our auditor.
Okay, well, maybe we can check with them and see.
We can explore that issue then.
I mean-
Okay.
And that
So
way,
where's
that
the
way it doesn't,
treasurer?
that way it doesn't,
If we transfer.
She's gonna
money
love
into
us
their
by the time
budget,
this
we
is
would have
done.
to do an amended budget for them.
Amend the budget.
I don't know the legalities of whether the county could just expense it out of courthouse general.
On a new tank.
That would-
That would be
whole
an
thing.
awkward question.
We're hoping we
Or
can
just
find a
new
good,
running
a
gear.
good used truck
But
that's
for
set up
you,
so they don't have that cost.
Lauren, start looking around, and we'll try to see what we can do. I'd just rather have
Their budget.
have you have a good truck, and then not have something that's not working.
Why don't you call me to come drag some bitch off the road?
Unless they can just take it right out of the general fund, I don't know.
If we're not breaking a budget law,
I can't think of one. It just feels wrong. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's a good measure for anything. I mean, the auditor, I will look into it from a legality aspect, but we probably need to check with
Okay.
the auditor as well.
But that makes sense to go ahead and do it now if it's breaking
Absolutely.
down on the way to
Sure.
fires.
Uh-huh.
So we'll get back to you guys, but I'd start looking, and then that way, if we can do it, then you've got your plan. And then what we do is probably sell the old one.
Rodney, are you going to reach out to the auditor on
I
that
will
question?
talk to-
Okay, just
to
want to make
John.
sure we know who's going to
You
do
might
that.
check
Okay.
with Fleming, he's got a site, they auction that stuff.
And
They got a lot of stuff
get
to
one,
be reasonable.
get one with low miles and something that's going to last a long time. That would be my only preference, so.
You know, because we hadn't updated, in 2005, we got three trucks for the county.
so what would you like to get, another Forest Service truck?
No, I mean, we're very fortunate that we're able to get the Forest Service trucks. They fill in a void. Um,
I don't think they're very fast.
They're not efficient, going clear up north.
I had one.
But they serve a purpose, and we're thankful for that. But you need the
That way it wouldn't.
little brush trucks too.
I got a special question to ask you. Because of the oil and gas wells that are all up on the county line, and all of those new roads that are going into all of those pastures, is there any reason why we still need that special fire district up there
That Rollins County is
with
currently
Rollins
managing.
County?
It's
Because
30
their
square
tax
miles.
rate is higher than ours. And those landowners that are in Cheyenne County are paying a higher tax rate for a rural fire than
It's
they would if we
$143,000.
did a resolution and removed that, which we could do next year. We can't do it this year, but we could do that next year. And I think that needs to be looked at and explored as a cost savings for next year.
And pull that fire district money back into Cheyenne County.
Right, bring it back into Cheyenne County.
Because it runs over from,
Almost from the Nebraska line. They took
think it'd
out
be out
some
by
sections
Mears's.
up there.
Would be
yeah,
my
it's about
guess.
2-3 miles into Cheyenne County.
And then it crosses
Wilkins?
36 for
Clear from
about
the
2
highway
miles.
to the state line.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
a sliver there. I do not know why
It's
that
been
ever
several
took
years,
place
but I used to deer hunt out
years
there.
ago.
There's some good places to hide up in
I'll
there.
have to check
there-
that out.
I've heard some rumors, and I won't discuss them in an open meeting, but, and I have the old resolution that decreased it. It was actually larger than it is now. I didn't go any further back than 95. I got tired of reading resolutions.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna keep the departments together. We're gonna add an additional 5,000 for Bird City's grant. And Lauren's gonna look for a truck and let us know, and we are gonna check and see if we can transfer the money. That way we don't have to change the budget too dramatically. Correct?
And you still would transfer the
Always gonna
25 a
ask
year.
Shannon, Bird City's gonna put in money for next year.
Oh,
Positive
One
equipment.
suggestion is maybe we could and I don't know if this is something we need to check on, but maybe the county general could transfer to equipment reserve and purchase the fire truck from the equipment reserve. I don't know. I know that there is a transfer set for general to be transferred into equipment reserve
That would make a lot of sense.
and just use that money.
And that would be easy for you to accomplish and track.
I didn't hear all of that.
Transferring from general fund into equipment reserves.
Special fire.
25
Yeah.
or something.
Or special.
320.
In fact,
There's
that's
that
the way I
special fire
wrote,
fund.
wrote my note.
Which is kind of like their
From
Equipment
courthouse
reserve.
general to
Right.
special
But it's
fire,
not gonna be
and then
enough.
it's sitting there.
if it's only
Whichever
23,
one,
right?
we can.
I think there's about 23,
I don't know the
25,000
legality
in there.
which one
It's
the
been a
county
while since
general
I've seen
can
that
actually
report.
apply to, but yeah, that.
Is that
either
a,
one would work.
I mean, that would definitely be, I was visiting with Dan about the special fire fund, which is the fire's equipment
I
reserve.
think that's what you were looking at there. When we do this transfer to equipment, that's a special fire, is it not?
Special
Yes,
fire.
yes.
Uh-huh.
So, and that's a count that carries over every year.
So that
Yes.
25, right, right.
So that would be a place that, did you
I
consider?
guess we put the 25 in there. I was trying to, number one, make up for a rescue.
Yeah,
that
the
we got 2
25
years ago.
would come
Yeah.
out next year and
The
go
white
into
one?
your special fire.
But I mean, these guys got to be getting close to needing both of those pretty soon too. I don't know where you guys are on that, but
How long is the bunker gear good for? Is it
you're
5
supposed
years?
to change every 10 years.
Oh, for 10 years.
Supposed to. That's their suggestions.
Well,
You know, and like we talked yesterday, if we could budget where we could do 2 sets a year per
Right.
department, that keeps
makes
us from
sense.
spending
right.
30,000,
At once,
we could
one
spend
time, yeah. That makes a lot of
5,000,
sense.
6,000 or whatever. And
Maybe check and let us know what the age is on them. And did you have something you wanted to ask Shannon?
Well, we did, the city budgeted a little over 23,000 this year to go towards fire, but we got to update our Scott packs
Okay.
for those guys, and that's like $5,000 a piece, so
That's where
by the
the
time
money
we
went. Did you catch that,
repairs and
Roger?
everything else,
He's explaining where the money went for the But the city of Bird City, used consolidated.
Yeah.
put it in.
Yeah,
They did.
Here's basically what Bird City's budget is,
okay.
which when they updated their city truck for the city department, in that, we agreed to update some Scott packs on that side, so they budgeted for that this year. Or for
Did they
17.
set any aside for next year, do you know?
For 17 is when
For,
that,
it was $23,000 in 17,
Okay.
but that'll be for repairs and training and Scott packs.
If you've got one, we can fill
Okay.
it out right now. And it's gonna be the one with both.
I looked at what was published in the paper, and it wasn't broke out, and that's why I questioned. I mean, obviously it was included in a consolidated line as far as the newspaper
I
was
was gonna
concerned.
add a grant.
I didn't even look at the newspaper, I guess, but,
You're in
I
the
was
general
gonna
over there.
Yeah.
edit this a
That's
little
how
bit
it's
and
done.
add a grant, and that's why I made myself. a
See,
note
St.
there
Francis
to
broke it
add the
out,
5,000
Bird
in
City
there.
consolidated.
and I could have done that for you
Okay.
better, but I just didn't
Yeah.
know for sure what we was
Here, there
doing.
would be grants,
Okay.
and then that would come across here, and it would be 28.5. Like that.
Dolores?
Dave, or Dan, I want you to double check this when we.
Now, they're going
Yes.
to 54,000 after this transfer takes effect.
Well, that won't be until,
That wouldn't cancel out any of these others, would it?
No, that's, the one column is requested, and that last column is what you as a board approved.
so about this time next.
Right, right. Okay.
Well, the total should be the same, 130.
Total should increase 5,000 because we
Right.
didn't have the Bird City 5,000 in there.
How's that look? So this was the original 23.5 on the grant. We added that to there. I think she's going to change this to grants. So the total number should still be the same of what you guys requested.
Yeah, I think that one's
Does that
mine.
look okay?
Okay,
So, come on.
so where are we gonna end up? Just
23.5.
with the 5,000 increase?
Yes.
The 5,000
Okay.
I've got it filled out. They're just looking at it to see. I'm going to total it up, make sure that the numbers.
we're gonna get.
And I can format that spreadsheet so that it,
We probably need to wait then to decide on
Well,
everything. So
yeah, but this won't be available till.
Right, but we had the
18,000. Because this should carry over from 2016.
because you already had an in for 16.
To transfer the special fire, yeah.
End of the year,
Yeah,
the monies are
25.
appropriated.
So, providing it's in there.
Right.
If it's not in our budget, we don't get it.
right.
But at least it's,
Right.
okay.
That look good?
I'm going to go through and make sure the numbers add up. Didn't make a mistake. But other than that, did you gentlemen have anything else?
I don't.
Well, thank you for what you guys do. And Shannon, it's always good to see you.
It's always good to see you.
Shake a mayor's hand. I don't get to do that every
We
day.
can initial off on that.
Lauren, thank you.
Right.
Let's have a quick break before we go with Laura.
I drove that road down there where that big fire was. It started to green up already.
yep.
Yeah.